The Galactic Council had been losing the war against the Hexari Dominion for 17 years. Entire systems burned, civilizations millennia old reduced to ash. The Council's remaining members huddled in their chamber, debating surrender terms, when Ambassador James Mitchell of Earth stood up. "We're entering the war," he announced simply. High Counselor Varix's tentacles writhed in distress. "Ambassador, while we appreciate the gesture, Earth has only been spacefaring for 2 centuries. The Hexari have." "5 hours," Mitchell interrupted. "Give us 5 hours." The chamber erupted in bitter laughter. The Altarians, who had fought longest, were especially derisive. "The Hexari have never lost a battle in 800 years. Mitchell checked his watch. 5 hours from now. 14:30 Earth Standard Time. Before anyone could respond, he walked out. At 14:31, every human colony, ship, and station across the galaxy went dark. Communication networks, trade beacons, even distress signals, everything ceased. The Council interpreted this as humanity accepting its fate, preparing for annihilation. They were wrong. At 14:45, Hexari's Supreme Command received a message on a frequency they believed was secret and unbreakable. It contained detailed scans of their Emperor's private chambers, taken moments ago, from inside their most secure fortress. The message was simple. "We can reach you anywhere. Humanity." At 1500 hours, every Hexari agricultural world discovered their crops had been infected with a genetically engineered blight, harmless to consumption, but causing the plants to spell out words visible from orbit. "You are not safe." The Hexari's response was swift and violent. They dispatched their entire core fleet to Earth, determined to make an example of these arrogant newcomers. At 1530, the fleet arrived to find Earth's solar system empty. No ships, no defenses, no population. Just a single beacon broadcasting coordinates to a location in dead space. At 1545, the Hexari fleet, driven by rage and confusion, jumped to the coordinates. They found the missing human population, 3 billion people, in massive colony ships, completely undefended. Supreme Admiral Kex ordered immediate attack. It would be genocide, but it would teach the galaxy a lesson about challenging the Hexari. The weapons fired. Nothing happened. Every Hexari ship's weapons system had been infected with a virus, not through their computers, which were unhackable, but through their food supply. Months ago, human traders had sold a popular delicacy to Hexari merchants, laced with nanobots so small they passed through every scanner. The nanobots had been dormant, multiplying, spreading through the entire Hexari military as soldiers ate their rations. At 1600 hours, Admiral Kex received a video feed from the Hexari homeworld. Human Special Forces, who had been living there for years as traders, merchants, even janitors, stood in the Emperor's throne room. They weren't threatening anyone, just standing there, holding playing cards with numbers, 1 through 52. The message was clear. Humanity had 52 teams like this on every Hexari world of importance. At 1630, Mitchell returned to the council chamber, where the members were watching feeds of the Hexari fleet floating helplessly in space. "How?" Varix whispered. "Every species expected us to fight like they do," Mitchell explained. "With honor, with declared battles, with conventional warfare. But humans? We wrote the art of war 2,000 years before we reached space. We invented espionage when we still fought with sticks. We perfected infiltration, sabotage, and psychological warfare while everyone else was perfecting energy weapons." He pulled up a hologram showing human positions throughout Hexari space. "For 50 years, we've been sending traders and immigrants to every major power in the galaxy. Not spies. Just humans, living normal lives until needed. The Hexari thought our greatest weakness was our diversity, our inability to unite. They never realized it meant we could blend in anywhere, become anyone. At 1700 hours, the Hexari Emperor sent an unconditional surrender to both Earth and the Galactic Council. At 1715, every human asset vanished from Hexari space, as if they'd never been there. At 1730, human colony ships jumped back to Earth orbit, and normal communications resumed. At 1930, exactly 5 hours after Mitchell's declaration, he stood before the stunned Galactic Council. "Humanity doesn't win wars through superior firepower," he said. "We win by being everywhere and nowhere. By turning your strength into weakness. By fighting battles you don't even know are happening until they're over." He paused at the door. "We've been at war with the Hexari for 50 years. They just didn't know it until today. And that's why victory only took 5 hours. We'd already won before we started."